Hey, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for tuning into another awesome podcast episode here at Brian's Place. Thank you, as always, for rocking and rolling with me. There's this episode and one more before we begin the ninth season of this podcast. So, for that, I'm truly grateful. I call it the podcast that obedience built because back in October 2019, that's truly how it started with obedience. I'm truly thankful to God for this gift and for this platform. Well, today, guess what, y'all? We are in for an amazing treat. Did I say amazing treat? Treat with the capital T. We are in for truly an amazing treat. Today's guest, actually, we are both on a mutual friends panel back in October, and found out she was in interior design, and it worked out great. She agreed to come on the podcast, and I'm truly blessed to have her on. Today's guest is has an interior design studio. She is part of an award-winning interior design firm serving discerning clientele nationwide. She is a mentor, a speaker, an author, a wife, and most of all, she has a heart after God. Please welcome the one and only Nikki Klugh.
So good to be here, Brian. Thank you for having me.
You are definitely welcome. Definitely welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Yes.
I've noticed you are definitely a trendsetter and a trailblazer. I believe that if you keep on doing the same things, you keep on getting what you've always gotten. But in order to have something different, you must do something different. And so, what I've noticed with you is that you've done things differently and are able to try new things and shift when it's time to shift, which is why obviously you've seen the results that you've seen. And have the things you have. When you were a little girl, did you ever imagine that you would be an interior designer, helping and impacting people the way you are today?
I dreamed of it and I wished for it, but I did not know it was possible. There were not many interior designers that were in the forefront, and there are absolutely none that were Black that I could see or know of. And so I just loved doing it. And I thought
Mhm.
maybe architecture would be my entry into a field of creative, expression through
Yeah.
home and buildings. But no, I didn't know that I actually could do this for a career.
Wow. Well, thank you for dreaming. Because of you, what you dreamed a long time ago, you're now living in the reality of that dream. And so you're like the, how do I say, you're like the Jackie Robinson of interior design. So
I wouldn't go that far. There are many before me that blazed trails and opened doors, and I'm very grateful for them. I talk to some of them often, my mentors who have since retired or moved on to other things. But yes, they absolutely had to break glass ceilings, and I'm
yeah.
very grateful for them. Yes.
I believe it's a wonderful thing when your ceiling can become your floor and you find yourself elevating to another level.
Yes, yes, I definitely am standing on the shoulders of greats. And it meant so much to me because there are so many times I was like, this isn't working. I think maybe I heard God wrong, or this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And they would encourage me. They'd be like, no, you have this talent, you have a knack, you have all that it takes to succeed in
Yeah.
this business. And so it was their encouragement that I really needed. I'm thankful that God sent them, in my pathway, and they noticed my talent and was able to help me stay the course and keep pushing.
Wow, that's awesome. So, who was it or what was it that really inspired you to become an interior designer?
Really, truly, it's my mother. My mom was a fashion design major in college.
Wow.
And then she had her baby girl. She had me when she was a junior in college. And so when she graduated, her priority was just to get the best job possible with good insurance, right?
Yeah.
And fashion design was not that career, especially in Houston, Texas, where the oil industry is so big. So she was a manager at a major oil production company. Very mundane work, if you will. Our weekends was our time to really get and express creativity. And so, as far back as I can remember, like 6, 7, 8 years old, I was rearranging my room and painting with my mom and sewing curtains and installing crown molding as a teenager and remodeling the garage to make an extra family room. And so we were always doing something to improve our home. It was my father, too, that said, whether you live in a shack or a castle, make it the very best possible home that you can. And so that was our motto. And we would just always be doing some kind of creative activity. And she definitely was my muse. And turns out, just in recent, going back and documenting my journey, was able to point a finger at the time that I remodeled a home that my grandfather built. When my husband and I got married, and he started medical school, my grandfather gave us this home. It was 50 years old. It was dark and dingy, and it had been serving as a storage, is that shed, essentially. I took off the awnings to let some sunlight in. We cleaned it out, remodeled the kitchen and bathroom, and that was my first like major project, as a gift, for a wedding gift from my grandfather. So my family has just always nurtured this gift in me, even though they would rather have I have gone in something technical like chemical engineering or math, because I was really good in those areas too. But this was my passion, and so I'm so um, just glad I was able to come back to it after having
Mhm.
my children.
Wow, that's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing, and it's definitely a blessing to have supportive family in your circle. That is a key.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're basically you're given a house and you turn it into a home. Are there certain steps you take to make that happen?
Well, and at that point, no, I was just going by the seat of my pants, and, evaluating all that needed to be done, making lists, contacting, contractors or handymen. Some of the work we did ourselves. My husband painted the whole house. Right after graduating from college.
Yeah.
And no, but now in our business, we have a very extensive process. It's a 15 steps. We call it our design for success process. And so we are covering, A to Z. No matter the size of the project, we are looking at the entire list and seeing what needs to be done so that we can execute design in a way that is less stressful for the homeowner and has the biggest impact for their budget.
Well, I like that, and I'm sure that your customers are really grateful for your attentiveness to the detail, and
Yeah.
um, it's not like just a job, but it's like you, I guess, imagine yourself living in it and see how you could beautify it and make it better, make it a warm home to be able to come to.
It absolutely is my priority to help our clients feel more at home. Like, this is an
Mhm.
ideal space for them. We look at things like how they interact with the space, with their family, with by themselves, with their storage needs, their preferences. We even look at down to the detail of what their favorite scents are and textures and color, not just the visual aspects of design, but also a very sensory aspect. And that's in incorporating sounds or music, incorporating visual texture, and smells, and not just, what you see. It's more of an
Yeah,
experience that we create for our clients that's ideal for them and their preferences.
that's awesome. I You got me sold already. That's great. So, as an interior designer, I'm sure you notice a lot of patterns and things. I believe that in life, there's different patterns, and then you can follow the pattern of your purpose and follow the pattern of your calling and the pattern of what God has called you to do. You can, it can really serve you well. What are your thoughts on this?
I take so many cues from nature. I feel like nature can be God's roadmap for us if we pay attention close enough. I
Mhm.
find inspiration in nature. Many of my color palettes are soothing and calm, because they're drawn from natural inspiration.
Mm.
And one thing I've noticed recently, my husband and I decided we're not binge watching another show for the end of this year. Like we are binge watched out. Like that's how we will just some kind of times kind of cocoon on the weekends. So
Yeah.
instead of finding ourselves in some new series, we've been watching more like Discovery Channel, like nature
Yeah.
things. And so one of them are these amazing journeys of wildlife. And I was like, look at God. Like even animals, like even mammals, God takes them on a journey. There are so many
Yes. Right.
times. Last night we were looking at the monarch butterflies and their journey from Mexico to, from South America and
Mhm.
Mexico to North America. And it's like, wow, like it's through our human experience too. It's never just a straight shot, is it? I mean, we have to gain strength and endurance and collaborate with people. And, it's a journey. We're never just like in this silo and standing still and just like instantly at our destination. It's always some journey and some evolution that's involved to make us better
Mhm.
people, to make us better
Yeah.
communicators, and to serve each other.
That is so true. You mentioned butterflies, and some of the world's most beautifulest butterflies come from some of the most ugliest cocoons. It makes me think of how you're able to take something that may not look real pretty at first, and like turn it into something that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. That show is is really amazing. It talks about the journey of these red crabs on Christmas Island and the humpback whale, the many thousands of miles they have to travel, and the salmon. And again, I'm just so inspired by nature and by all that God has surrounded us with, and learn many just life lessons as well as design inspiration from watching those.
That's awesome. I like that. You once said true luxury is a sense that everything is exactly as it should be. Would you mind expounding on that? What did you mean by that?
We have these sense of, dreams and anticipation for our homes, for ourselves. And I feel like luxury is a personal experience, and we all have these different, imaginations of what we want. And so when you get close to that and you can experience that for yourself, it really is a taste of luxury that something has been tailored just for your personality, just for your needs,
Mhm.
and it's more than you could ever imagine. And so, yeah, luxury is just a sense that things are the way they're supposed to be. It's
I
there's a
like
sort
that.
of calm that comes with that.
Yeah, I like that. That's almost like getting a suit and the suit being too big, but when you take it to the tailor, they're able to tailor it just for your size, and it feels much better on you. You look much better on it. So in it, so it's real similar.
Absolutely.
Real similar, and so excuse me. You also have a podcast, Create Your Sacred Space podcast with Nikki and Clue. What inspired that, and how's that been going?
It's been going great. I have loved having guests on that are architects, general contractors, realtors, past clients, that we can talk about how the work that I did for them affects their work and their clients. It was Lisa Nichols who really made me understand and accept the fact that I not only touch the homeowner or the business owner, like I'm touching all the people that they touch because of the sense of peace and groundedness that I can give them in those spaces. They can serve so much better when they're serving their tribes. And so, create your sacred space. I have you know, a methodology to the way that I design. I
Mhm.
call it designing to your senses, but we also look at biophilic design, which is what I was referencing earlier when I say nature is such an inspiration in my work. We look at your personality type. Like we do these multiple analysis of who you are as a person and how we can meet your needs, and not just your needs but your aspirations, who you're becoming, your goals, your values. We look at all these different things and these different inputs, and then we create spaces that are, like I said, more of an experience than just that, oh, a pretty room or a magazine worthy room. It's actually the way it feels when you're inside of the room. It's hard to capture on photography, those feelings, but I've had people say I can tell when I've walked into a space designed by Nikki Klugh.
That's awesome. You are definitely making your mark.
Yeah.
Must definitely be a good feeling. And for the podcast, where can people listen?
We are on all the different hosting sites. So Spotify, iTunes. Like, I'm not the one that puts the show on the different
Okay.
platforms, but I am told that they are on all of them.
Awesome. That's great. So be sure and check out the podcast. And so you are also married and travel a lot with your husband. For couples who are able and love to travel, how has that been? I believe it's one thing to love to travel and go to different places, and it's another awesome thing when you're able to travel with the one you love and create awesome new experiences with that special person. How's that been?
It is phenomenal, especially now that he has more free time as a result of gaining two new partners. But travel for me is really all about experiencing new places, people, things, architecture, food, design. I am always looking for more and new inspiration. And my husband loves architecture as well. So that's something we found that we do together. And museums, so we've noticed that trend that every time we go to a new city or new country, we're looking for the museum that's going to give us a broader perspective on
Yeah,
their culture and the things that feed into their culture and help create their culture.
yeah,
So, and so being able to do that together has been just like icing on the cake, because sometimes, in previous years, I'd go without him. I'd go with a group of girlfriends. I hadn't
yeah.
traveled overseas alone yet. I do have friends that do that. But, we'll do a girlfriend trip and go experience some of these things. So I'm really blessed that he's able to go now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. And yes, traveling is it's awesome to be able to travel, and especially being able to travel with the one you love. It just like you said, it makes the experience more rewarding, more greater.
Yes, absolutely.
And so obviously you are doing a lot and have your hands on a lot of different things. How do you find balance for everything, being that there's only 24 hours in each day?
So my calendar is blocked out. I use time blocking and time boxing to manage my time, to manage my responsibilities. I have a team, and so I don't do everything anymore. I used to try, and
Yeah,
it's like, Moses, right? God was like, "You cannot do this all alone. You need to
yeah,
assign some leaders." And so have gotten to that place where I have a team that I trust, that I adore, and they are very supportive in making sure all the cogs are turning and all the things are happening and
yeah,
getting done. And it really has stretched me as a person, as a leader, to build that team, uh, to have competent people, to have people that with the right attitudes,
yeah.
to trust them and learn from them, allow them to operate in their strengths. And I don't always have all the answers, but nor do I want to have all the answers. Like before, I felt like I needed to hold it in, and have more control. And we get so much more done when I'm able to release the reins and again let them operate in their genius.
That's awesome. And like teamwork is so essential. And it's like when you think about it, championships are only won by teams. You could have the greatest, for instance, in football, you could have the greatest quarterback in the world, but if there's no one to catch the ball, so you need a receiver, so everyone
No one
plays
to block for you. You'd end up hurt.
right. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, so teamwork is very important in everyone being able to function in their specific role for for the common good of the team. I think that's extremely important. It
agreed.
says even in the Bible it says it's better for two walk together. Because if one with the team you got one another's blind spots. We all have blind spots, so it's great to have someone who's looking out for you. You're looking out for them, and you're being able to accomplish things.
Exactly. Exactly.
And finally, if people would like to reach out to you, or if they need an awesome interior designer like you are, how can they contact you?
We are on all the sites, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, under Nikki Klugh Design. So Nikkiklughh Design.
Awesome.
Yes.
Everyone, please be sure to check her out. She does amazing work. You're also on Instagram?
Yes, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Pinterest.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you again so much for coming by. And remember, to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. It was great being here.
Definitely. Thank you. Well, I know everyone, you've been beyond blessed by this awesome episode. As always, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And just like how it is when you watch a movie and sometimes you see things the second time around you didn't see the first time, feel free to go back and watch us. And awesome, be blessed by this awesome journey. And just continue to be blessed. I pray the remaining of your 2023 is great as you prepare for an even greater and more awesomer 2024. Some great things coming up. And as always, this is BDP, Brian David Porter, still living in purpose, on purpose, intentionally. Till next time, you guys be blessed. Love you, Lord life.
Awesome. Awesome.